Hello, my friends from YouTube. You guys, I'm recording outside because it's a beautiful day. This is going to be a quick tutorial on how to make this applique. This is a new technique that I just came up with. It's a lot easier than the regular applique, because the regular applique you have to fold the little edge and then sew around the edge with either your sewing machine or by hand. By the way, by hand, I love the look of it. But this one is, it has a little texture to it. I do want to mention that depending on the fabric is the look that you're going to get. If the fabric is thicker, the look of the applique is going to be prettier. As you're going to see when I start, I did it with a different fabric, an orange one, and it came out gorgeous. This one is also good, like 100% cotton. When you do it with batiks, they don't come out as bulky, so they're a little bit more flat, but they're also pretty. I did 2 bags because I wanted to show you how it looks with the soft and stable, and look how cute it is. I love it. And also with cotton. When you use the cotton batting, it's easier to quilt than if you do the soft and stable. When you do it with the soft and stable, it's a little bit more difficult to do any kind of designs. But this particular technique I don't do a lot of designs in it. I just go like 1/4 of an inch in the edge, and you're gonna see that. So I hope you like this tutorial, and please comment below. Let's get started. So you guys, before we get started, I wanted to show you my test piece. And this is how I started doing this kind of applique. I wanted to do something that had dimension to it. I didn't want my piece to be flat on my project. I wanted to have a little bit of movement, and so this little flower over here, because flowers are not flat. So when I started doing this, I came up with this idea where I'm going to go ahead and sew like 1/4 inch from the edge in. That way the edges have some kind of like movement to it. But in order to do that, then I had to put the same amount of fabric that I have in the front. I needed to put it on the back. That way when it lifts up, it doesn't have the back of the fabric. So that's how I came up with that idea. Then I used invisible thread for the inside of the flower, the petal, and I used this thread because I was just testing it. Let me put it over here. I was just testing, and I wasn't sure what I was going to use, and it turned out that this one worked really good. This one is 12 weight, 100% cotton, and it came in one of my quilty boxes, and that's the one I used for this part right here. By the way, this looks like it's got batting, but it doesn't. It's just the end of the petals that all meet there, and I'll show you how I did all that stuff. And this one too, look at this one. This is like a little flower, but it's kind of like a miniature one, and it just came out so cute. I love the way this one came out. Let me see if I can get a little focus over here. See, so when you look at it from the side, it lifts, and it's just super cute. And all I did was do the little stitch in the center. I could have done this stitch and it would have been prettier, but I decided to go with invisible because I wanted to see how, you know, they look with different threads. And this is one of the leaves that has kind of like the same thing. I did the invisible thread, but if I have to attach this leaf again, I would just use like a thick thread like this one and do like a straight line and then do my size, but it will still have, I will not do it around the edge. That's just, I just like it like that. I don't I'm not crazy about going around the edge. Plus you need a lot of precision, and it doesn't come out all perfect all the time, so it drives me a little insane. This one is not perfect either, but it's so much easier, and you just love touching your quilt. This is just like so fun. So let's get started, you guys. Enough talking, and let's get started with this technique. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna show you how I came up with my little butterfly. I went to the bookstore and I got me this book, and it has amazing stuff inside. I got one of the pages out. I love that butterfly. I got that page out and I enlarged the butterfly only. So that's the part I enlarged. Then you guys know about this thing that I get to store my fabric sometimes. That's what I used to use. I'm not using it for storing fabric anymore. But this is perfect for this project. So this one, I got it at the Dollar Tree. There's 2 of these plastics for 99 cents. The back has these little lines and that are going to be useful, and the front is smooth. So you place it on your piece, you get your marker, permanent marker, and you draw and you trace it. You trace that, then you move it a little bit, and then you trace the bottom. I'm not going to trace it because I already have my template. See, I have this one, and so the way I look at it is the one that has the little lines is always going to be like over here on this side. That's why I do the smooth side, because that way when I turn it like this, I know that that will be the other side. So you only really need to trace one part, because then when you flip it over and you feel the little grooves, you know that's the other side. So you go ahead and you trace, then you move it a little bit, and then you go ahead and trace the other part, and then you cut it. Then I cut my stuff, the plastic, with these scissors. So then that part is done. So then after you have your little pieces cut out, you get the fabric that you're gonna use. Look how cute, you guys, for butterflies. It's gonna be gorgeous. You get your little piece of fabric, you fold it, you place your little pieces on top to see how big you're gonna need it, and leave a little bit of fabric over here, a little bit over there, not much. You don't need a lot. And then you are going to get either a pencil or your marking tool, whatever you're gonna get. I'm gonna use this one so you guys can see. And you face it right sides together. Then you mark. This one doesn't want to go in the curves, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. See, I mark with a regular pencil. Or my mechanical pencil, whatever. So I'm not going to use this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and mark with this pencil. Now I mark with the smooth side on the top, so now I'm going to flip it and mark it with the grooves. So that way I have both sides of the wings, you know, both wings, left and right. That's if you're using 2 different fabrics, okay? Because if you're using the same fabric, it does not matter, but you need to be aware when you turn it which side is which, because you're going to make a hole in one of these and you don't want to do it on the wrong side. So I just do it like that, you know, to be safe. Now I know that I have to mark my opening over here and my opening over here. This way I don't have two of the same. Then I go the same with this. Put it right here. And the way I was sewing on them, I'm going to show you now how I do that stuff. Way I was sewing on it, I did it actually with my free motion foot. Especially when you have like a lot of turns, like a circle or something. That's one. Now we flip it over and we have the other one. Now I know this is the back. We're going to put a mark on it so you know where to cut. Don't move it. Okay, put a mark. Now you know you cut right there. You get your ruler and you start cutting up. You're not going to use that right now. Put your little pin. And you really don't have to cut this, but if you want it to be more manageable, you can. I take it to the machine just like that. And I'll show you how I do that. Okay guys, this is going to be really hard for you to see because first of all, the thread is extremely fine and it's the same color as my piece, but I'm going to show you kind of like what I do. Oops. And so we start, that's a good thing that it started a regular stitch, which is 2. For this I put it in like 1, my stitch, because it's easier to take the curves. And you don't have to be precisely on the line, but it helps if you are. So I just go on the edge of that line. And then when I'm getting close to the edge, I go slow because I want to take those turns. Kind of like if you're doing like a little bit of an applique. So you just go, take turns. Sometimes, like if I have a lot of turns or it's a circle, I do it with the free motion foot. But this one doesn't have a lot of turns, so we can just do it like this. Turn it, and so that's pretty much curves. Kind of guide it a little bit and follow that pencil mark that we have without stretching it too much. And when you have a straight line, this is really not a straight line, but it's almost. You don't have to be right on the line. As you can see, I'm not right on the line, but I just give it the shape that it has. And then go over here, turn again, and you do the same thing. Back stitch a little bit and cut. And so it's so fine that you cannot even see it. So we do the same thing with this one. I'm going to show you just this little one. So you kind of can see. That is really not difficult to do. And give it a few more stitches this way. Because it has so many little stitches, it's pretty easy to maneuver. And we'll put it back right here. Try and get back to that line slowly. If you get out of the line like I do, just try to make that like a curve, but a gentle curve. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and turn here again and do a little bit of back stitch, and I'm gonna do the rest and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so after I sewn all my shapes in place, you cannot see it, but they're sewn, you guys, look. I get those pins out, of course, and I'm going to trim all around the edge, leaving around 1/8 of an inch. So I detach them from each one of them, trying not to go and cut into the shape, and then just trim. I forgot to tell you that when you're doing this part right here, don't make it too narrow, because then we cannot get this little piece on this side. And also mark the back, so where you're going, when you put them all in the row, just mark it, so that's where we're going to do the cut, so we can flip it around. Okay, turn it. So just cut like about 1/8 of an inch. And over here, you do a little, get real close, but not to the point that you are going to cut into your stitch. Be real careful, because you can hardly see it. And so that's it. Let's cut around and then let's flip it around. So after you already trimmed them all out, then like I mentioned, you just, you know, turn it like this, cut a little piece like this, make a little snip over here and another one over here. It doesn't have to be too far. And then all these pieces that I have here, I'm going to use with another little cutouts that I have, and I can just use that one and make like little flowers and things. So that's not a waste. Now this one, I have my tweezers over here that I'm going to use to turn this around. You can kind of turn it like this with your hands, but I don't want to rip this too much, so I just grab the ends and turn it over right here, turn it over, and this way, and the same thing you do with the other pieces. Just gonna do the same thing. This way you don't rip this opening here too much. Then with the back of the tweezer, I just go along the edge, or you can get all the other nice tools that we've gotten with our boxes. I have been using the this that we got on one of the Quilty boxes. This one is really handy and really useful. Just don't do it so hard that you break it, you know. Do it, you know, slowly, and it will turn right away. Now I wanted to tell you about the other way that I am doing this. Like for instance, I have very few fabric from this blue one. And so what I did was I used the background of this fabric that I'm going to use. So you can do it like that too. I rather use the same fabric, you know. I really do. I rather use the same fabric in the front and in the back. Over here we did this little curve, so all you have to do is poke it a little bit. And they're not very pronounced, but they're, you can see a little bit of it, you know. Just do it like that, and then that's it. Then you can press it. We can also use the purple thing that we got from the goodie box. Sometimes it's helpful. Then you press it, and then you're going to put it on your fabric that you're going to use. So there you go. See? See how pretty that looks? And I have to do the little body for it. I'm going to press this one so that way it looks pretty flat. And I'm going to do the little body. Put it over here in the center. And look how cute that is, you guys. I love it. And I'm not going to go and do a stitch around the edge. That's not the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you next how I'm going to attach it to the fabric. Okay, you guys, so I kind of did some of these little pieces to make the butterfly look prettier, and so we're gonna go ahead and sew those there. And I got this ones too. And now I'm going to do this fabric, which I think is so pretty. So I cut the little piece out of there. I'm gonna fold it like this in half, right sides together. I'm showing you with this one because it's easier to see with the camera. Then you put your little piece over there, your little plastic that you already have, and I put the other one over here. In this case I traced it with a pen. I'm going to sew, and I'm going to make a flower. Okay, you guys, so after I do I did the little body for the butterfly and the little head, I went and turned my little pieces. And also I wanted to show you that, you know, when you try and do these things, I try to fussy cut. So I put the little flower right there and the other one, so you know, just little details like that. Then you're gonna go ahead and pinch a little bit on it, however you like it, and do like a little stitch right there. Or you can leave it open like that, just like that. You can leave it just like that, however you like. I kind of like to give it a little bit of dimension to it, you know. You can put it like this. Like this. And then the butterfly wing can be on top of it. You can add a little thing in the center, just like that. But I wanted to show you this before I went and attached all this to the machine, because there are so many different ways that you can attach it. So make sure that you like the you know, the way you're displaying it, because after you attach it, you're gonna have to rip it off. So we don't want to do that. You need to make sure that we like it the way it's already set up. Take pictures of it, wait, or something, you know. But that's the way, kind of like, see how it's just so pretty. And I love the fact that I have the same on the back that I do on the front. It's not like empty. It gives it a little of meat to it, you know. It's got consistency. So anyway, you guys, let's go ahead and finally get to the sewing machine so you can see how I attach this to my background. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we have our little petal here, and this is the back of it. So on the front part, we're going to turn it like this. Just one little pinch. I'm going to fold it like that, and then I'm going to stitch like 1/8 of an inch right here, away from this edge and away from this edge. So it's going to be and if you should have like the same color thread. I'm using pink, the same, pretty close to the and you're gonna have to guide it with a stiletto because it's a little bulky, so it doesn't want to go unless you guide it. So I go back and forth one time, and then I trim all the little, you know, threads that it might have. I don't have the same color thread, but it's okay because I'm going to overlap them, so you're not going to see the back of the thread. In this case it's like gray, so it kind of matches with this silver, but you know, in case. So then we're going to have something that looks like that, and then I'm going to, when I place it on the bag, it's going to be like this, and it's going to overlap, and I'll show you that in a second. So that's all you got to do to give it a little bit of a shape over here. That's it, just a little pinch, and then sew like 1/8 of an inch away from this edge and another 1/8 of an inch away from this edge. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go kind of like 1/8 of an inch, so that I don't get into the really thick seams down here. Also, when you go on the edge, then this one looks puffy and it looks cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and go really slow because I don't want anything to happen. And I have my free motion. I have my free motion foot. I have my stitch on 0 and my feet dogs are down. So I'm going to try and make it as circular as possible. And if you see that it's starting to get like that you cannot move it, just make sure that nothing is, that it's not catching anywhere. No? Let's see. See, it's really thick, so I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up as much as I can. And it's tricky because it's thick. That's what you need to do. Just go all the way around. Move it around if you have to. And play with it. This one's going to be about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, because like I said, all those seams in the center. Okay, your stiletto, and work it. Okay, I'm gonna trim this little thread over here. I'm gonna put it on this side. Okay, so now it looks like it's got like a puffy center, which I love that look. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I love this way that I'm doing this, because since we have like a full fabric over here, like the same as here, we can go and just do like that's why you're not supposed to cut so much. You just do like whatever design you want here. It could be like a hook or anything, like a feather, whatever you want, and it's just gonna look so pretty. And this part is gonna lift. It's just gonna show that dimension to it. So I really like it. Go ahead and start over here. Bring that thread up. You can go as far or as close as you want to the edge. Lift this one up. Get this one under. Back to the center. And you're going to do the same thing. You can get really close. Really close. I'm just going to go like over here. And do the same thing. And just like that, you're going to have a pretty little flower. If you want to cut thread so you don't go over, but nobody's going to see that the thread is the same color. And you just go around like that, you guys. And the reason why it's like so thick like that is because I have the softened stable. If it was regular batting, it would be a lot easier to do. But this is really not difficult. So just do it like, instead of doing the applique like right on the edge, you just do it like that. Like a 1/4 of an inch, or maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 of an inch. Whatever your little heart desires. So I'm going to do the same thing that I'm doing with this flower to the butterfly. And I'll show you the finished product. So on the butterfly, it's the same thing. We're going to go around it. Like on this one, because they're tiny pieces, I'm going like 1/8 of an inch around it, and you just do a nice little, it's not as intense as going around the edge. Make sure that it's precise and all that stuff. So I already did the body of it, and I already did, you know, the little whiskers or antennas. And so now with the thread that kind of matches this, maybe like a white thread or transparent thread, I'm gonna go ahead and do like, you know, designs on them. I love this. I love it because I don't have to worry about having to be perfectly on the edge or in the corners or anything. I just love this. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. And this is pretty much the way I'm doing my applique from now on. So that's how I attach my new way of doing appliques, you guys. I just love it. I love it because it looks so nice. Like in person, I cannot appreciate it so much on the camera, but in person it just looks so nice. And it looks like the butterfly is gonna fly. Look at that, it's got the little wings all ready to go. And see, let me bring it up close, see if you guys can see. It just looks so cute, looks puffy, and these little edges when we wash it are gonna be wrinkly, just like a flower. There is the butterfly, super cute. And then I just did the little whiskers, or the thing with the, which is thread. And it just looks so cute. Look at that. It's just super cute. The little thing right here, the dimension of it, it just looks like it's ready to go. So when this is a bag that I'm going to do, but you imagine this on a quilt, how absolutely gorgeous that would be. And how lovely it is to touch it, and so nice to play with it. And if you make a quilt and give a quilt like this to someone, they are going to absolutely love it. I do want to mention that I don't put the the backing. I just do it on the plain. Like if I had a quilt, I would do this first without putting the backing on it, and I would just do the backing after, when it's time to quilt all this other area. On my bag I do the same thing. I just leave the soft and stable without it, and then I will put the backing, the inside or the lining of my bag, and then I'll just quilt around the flower, whatever other design I'm going to do. If I wanted to leave it like that, I could also leave it without quilting it. So, but this is just feels so good to touch, you guys. It's crazy. Okay, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about the thread. The thread that I was going to use on these is the one that came with the quilty box, which is this one. This one is metallic thread, and I'm not gonna lie, I tried playing with it, but my machine did not like it. It started making some weird noises, and I did not want to break my machine. Not that, I just don't know how to play with this thread, so, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I did not use this thread. For this project I used this one. That's Issachar 40, and the number of the color I think is 2520. So the number 40, I think that's the weight, but I don't know because it doesn't look that thick. But anyway, that's the one that I use for this project. Perfect match for that. You cannot even see. You can also use another one that we got on the quilty box was this one, that you can definitely also use if you don't want, you know, if you don't want to see the thread on the project. And this one is one that we received on one of the quilty boxes too. I tried it and it worked really nice, but I just wanted to go with this pink one. So there you have it. So that's it, you guys. That's how I made that applique, and I put it on a bag. So this is how it looks when it's on a bag, but you can also put it on, this one has soft and stable, this one has cotton, so you can put it on both. And I can only imagine how cute it will look if it's on a baby quilt. I probably would do one for my grandbaby, and with this little flowers and little things on it, and you can shape pretty much anything in this with this technique. I have something coming up that I'm going to be doing, that it's not going to be like flowers and things, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, look, it's just like so cute, you guys. It has so much dimension to it. I just love the way it looks, and I know that if this is put in a baby quilt, the babies will love it. So I'm glad, I hope you like it, and I'm glad you watched the tutorial. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and come on back. Bye.